On a busy morning, commuters cross the Yangon River. As they enter Yangon, Myanmar's largest city and former capital, they pass British colonial buildings. These buildings survived devastating cyclones, the Japanese bombs of World War II, and in many cases, decades of neglect.
What we have is one of the last 19th, early 20th century cityscapes left in all of Asia, and I think that's valuable in itself. And I think this is something where, if not now, 10, 20 years in the future, if we destroy it, we'll regret it.
That Minh U is founder and chairman of the Yangon Heritage Trust.
During my stay in Havana,
He's also the grandson of U Thant, the Burmese diplomat who was the United Nations Secretary General in the 1960s. He's concerned his city's architectural heritage will be destroyed in the rush to build new hotels and office towers. So his group is pushing the government to enact preservation laws.
One of our main ideas is that as the city modernizes, if we can protect a lot of this heritage and build on it, as well as having a modern city, we can have one of the most beautiful cities in the region as well.
For decades, when Myanmar was controlled by brutal military regimes, it was one of the most isolated nations in the world. Since introducing political reforms in 2011, foreign investment is flooding in, and poor people here are getting priced out.
I think we have to also put at the forefront the situation of people, especially low-income families, who live downtown. Many of them can live downtown only because of rent control. Many of them pay almost nothing to live in these buildings, which means also that the owners do nothing, as in many other places, to keep up these buildings.
The people who live in this crowded pre-war building say the owner wants to knock it down and build a new luxury condominium. There are 16 apartments. This unit alone houses 4 families, more than 20 people. Tochi Bio has lived here all his life. He says if his family has to move, they'll have nowhere to go.
We have to get the economics of this right so that we can come up with a coherent plan that both creates market incentives for renovating these buildings, but also make sure not only that people who want to stay can stay downtown, but also that would encourage these people to stay downtown. Because I think the worst thing that could happen is the buildings get all knocked down. But I think the second to worst thing is the whole place is gentrified, is full of only tourists and maybe some rich people. And I think we want to try to keep intact as much as possible these very old communities that live downtown as well.
Myanmar is attracting investment and aid from the West and countries across Asia, like Japan, which is managing Yangon's multi-billion-dollar urban development plan.
We want to support the economic development and win for Myanmar and win for the international business sector also, including Japanese businessmen also.
The challenges are great. Much of the city's infrastructure was built during colonial days. It's falling apart. Train cars are dilapidated. Sidewalks are broken. The roads are old and congested. Across society, education is rudimentary and people need training.
So this is our studio.
American-trained architect Stephen Zamo Shui says there's also a shortage of skilled labor.
We basically have to teach the tiler how to lay tiles, how to put together things, on the job site, because they didn't have experience and they only know one way to do things. So there's a lot of challenges on that part too.
This city has yet to develop building codes or even zoning laws. Goodwill and foreign aid alone cannot fix the chaos.
In many ways, at the official level, things have been remarkably good. I think the problem is that there are tremendous development pressures on this city. There's a lot of business that is very difficult to regulate. And to try to bring some degree of order, coherence, regulation is going to be an uphill battle, even again with the highest level of political support.